Hello, everybody. Welcome back for another vivacious episode of the Common Good Radio Show. I am Pastor John McClain here with Mr. Ron Arenas with Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
Well, hello there. I'm so glad to be part of a vivacious
show. Yeah. We're bringing it today, Ron.
All right.
Yeah, you thought you were just going to be part of a regular old talk radio show.
I'm not just going to hang out today. I have to step it up.
Well, between me, you, and Candace, I think we're bringing the vivacious today. What do you think, Candace?
I'm heavily caffeinated, so
vivacious
is a good word.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you. So welcome everybody to the Common Good Radio Show, brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. I'm Pastor John McClain with that Veteran Rescue Mission, but this would not be the Common Good Radio Show, vivacious or not, if we did not give grace to a very loving God that blesses us so very much. One, that the three of us got to hang out with cool people all morning long. Ron at his series of networking meetings, and Candace and I at the business networking meeting at the Arizona Sands Club, the first, second, and fourth Wednesdays of every month at 9 a.m. The second and fourth hosted by Don Zavis and John Wechter and that awesome team. And then the first Wednesday of the month, the Common Good Business Breakfast hosted by myself and Ron Arenas, Picture Rock Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing, Sean Campbell with BCS Designs and the Sean Campbell Group, and then Andreas Ruiz with I Believe Myself Coaching. So a good powerhouse team group there. And then Candace took pictures of our last event, so we'll talk about more of that later. But let's thank the loving God with the Lord's Prayer. It goes a little something like this. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. So, all that being said, I definitely, I think it's kind of cool, the first guest we have today. We have certainly a action-packed show with technically five different amazing guests. And you didn't realize it today, Ron, but the theme of today is Powerhouse Women.
Yeah. Okay.
And we start off with definitely a super powerhouse woman, a woman that certainly will be helping me better my charity and my nonprofit, and probably has helped millions of people by proxy, because she's helped hundreds of nonprofits in the city of Tucson. And without further ado, that person I'm talking about is Jennifer Tersani with Raise the Bar. And if I butchered your name, Jennifer, I apologize. That's what I do. So it's not a you thing, it's a me thing.
I'm happy to be here. It's Tersini, but
Tersini,
it's all
okay.
good.
Yeah.
I had a lifetime of people butchering my name.
I got a B in Spanish, so I know your name's not Spanish, but I know it was a pronunciation thing that was going on there. And again,
we speak fluent broken English here.
Yeah, fluent, very fluent. Yeah. So the theme of you being here, kind of nonprofits 101. Let's start off with what is a nonprofit, and how do they operate in the long run.
Well, that's a question that could take books, right?
Yeah.
I'll try to keep it short.
Mm-hmm.
In general, a nonprofit organization is any organization whose mission is to serve the greater good, and really the only difference between a nonprofit, I mean, there are a couple differences, but in general, the difference between a nonprofit and a for-profit entity is that a nonprofit can make money. I think a lot of folks think they can't. They can. The difference is that profits that are made, extra money that is made, is reinvested in the mission of the organization and not paid out to shareholders. So that's really the key difference. Now, of course, lots of nonprofit organizations operate in certain ways where their culture might seem very different than a for-profit corporation or a small business. But the essence of what makes a nonprofit different really is its tax status. And that tax status doesn't allow you to pay out shareholders.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, putting Ron on the spot here, so excuse everybody.
Right?
So where can we learn more about?
That's asking questions.
Well, actually, before we skip over to kind of like the demo information, like explain like what is a nonprofit and how does someone start one? Like I know that's kind of another thing that's like there's a lot of misnomer around that.
Sure. So a nonprofit organization is an organization that is created for a specific mission that an individual or a community group has. Now, the spirit of starting a nonprofit organization is for that organization to be, in essence, community owned for the benefit of the community. A lot of individuals will start a nonprofit because they have a great idea. And in the state of Arizona, it's relatively easy to start your own nonprofit organization.
Interesting.
Okay, and so a lot of people will start one. I know, John, you have one where, they start one with a group of people for a common good. They're going to be, working with, whether it's the homeless or veterans or food security or animals or the environment, arts, education, so on and so forth. They have an idea and they want to start an organization. Well, that's great, but that's really just the first step. And then building the organization, growing the organization, funding the organization so that you can meet your mission are then the next steps for how to grow and prosper.
Mm-hmm.
If a person wants to start an organization, then the first step is to really think through your idea. And I think that a lot of folks don't necessarily take the time to do the next thing I would advise, and that is conduct a little bit of a needs assessment and a market analysis. Now, you don't need to hire a fancy person and overpay for anything, but it does make sense to know who else in the community is serving the people you want to serve.
Mm-hmm.
What services are already out there? What do they offer? And what is the real need in the community versus maybe a perceived need? How is what you're going to do different from what others are already doing?
Absolutely.
Now, certainly you can start an organization and do the same thing as someone else does down the street, right? But that may or may not be the best use of resources in the community. There may be other ways to partner with those who provide services like you might want to provide.
Yeah. Well, Jennifer, I hate to cut you off, but we have about a minute until we have to roll into the break. How can people connect with your organization and donate, volunteer, get your services primarily if that's what they're looking for?
Oh, boy, I feel like I haven't even touched on things.
I know, there's so much more. Well, this won't be the first or last time we have you on the show, so that's a good thing. It's like it's like driving in a race car being on a radio show. I know it. So long story short, if someone wants to become a nonprofit organization, first they have to apply with their state, and then once they have state status, they have to apply to the feds before they can become a nonprofit. There's a lot of steps in between. I happen to own a consulting company that works with nonprofit organizations and with founders, and we provide growth and transformation strategies. So if folks want to learn more about us, they can look us up online at raisethebarllc.com. All right. Thank you so much for joining us, Jennifer.
No, thank you.
Yeah, this is Common Good Radio Show brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. That's Jennifer Tersini with Raise the Bar. I think I said it right. And you definitely go to raisethebarllc.com, and we'll see you right after the break. That's right. We are back. This is the Common Good Radio Show brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. I am Pastor John McClain of that very Veteran Rescue Mission, the Homeless Veteran Transition Program that you can find at veteranrescuemission.org. If you have a veteran that needs help, or if you are somebody that wants to help the veterans, you can do it with us. And I'm here with one of the coolest guys in Tucson. It's true because I said so. His name is Ron Arenas with Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing. If you have any cooling, heating, or plumbing needs, give Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing a try.
We're here to keep you cool, or at least comfortable in your home or office.
Nice. Here to keep you cool. That's why he's the coolest guy in Tucson.
That's right.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, you could take that.
Yeah.
And we have a different type of cool, but the coolest lady in Tucson. Yeah, I got you, Candace. Yeah. Candace Eaton with C Eaton Photography. She's done a couple few of my events and activities so far since we've known each other. And a few radio shows ago, I named her as the best photographer in the city of Tucson, and possibly the planet.
Oh, the whole planet
Yeah,
now.
possibly. Well, I haven't seen better otherwise. I don't, at least not that I know personally. Like a Kathleen Dreyer, she's amazing, but my opinion, I like. There's something about your style that just appeals to me a little bit better.
All right.
Yeah.
I think it's more my attitude, but
Sure, we'll go with that. Well, it's just Kathleen's been a friend for many years, so
and her work is fantastic.
and I love-
and she's kind of a icon in the
she's an
Tucson
icon.
community.
Yeah. So for me I almost feel like it's like talking bad against Oprah. Like I was having a hard time having my mouth do it. Like it's just that my mouth doesn't form that way.
Yeah,
exactly.
don't do that.
Don't do it. Yeah, I love Candace, my wife, and the photographer, but I also love Kathleen Dreyer. She's an amazing woman. She's definitely been super supportive of me over the years and the work that I've done. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
But she's a different type of photographer, I've heard. So
we
sure.
we all have our own vibe
yeah.
and personality to our photography, and everybody does it just a little bit different.
Yeah,
that's why there's room for all of
There's
us.
room for everybody, for sure. There's room for everybody. Yeah, I feel the same way about my industry. And helping homeless people or helping vets or radio business, whatever, you would moniker me as like, yeah, let's all come on in. Like me and Ron are in the process of creating a radio show, and I think I've given you a copy of this book, and I'm in the process of creating a radio show with several people, just because, and I've had one of them point out recently, I wrote a chapter about it in my book, because that's how I am as a person. Like this isn't these ideas aren't me. This industry isn't me. This is an everything. These ideas are everybody's ideas. So
right.
It's definitely cool when I meet with other people that are that same way, where it's not like so me, mine, me. Like I'm going to lock everybody out, but we're we're open-minded. And obviously we're going to be cautionary and set boundaries and be realistic, but have an open heart with people, because if you do, you certainly are available to meet and have connections with people like ourselves. And I feel very blessed to have you as a friend, for sure.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah.
I feel the same.
Yeah. So enough, powdering you up. Let's talk about what you do actually for a living here. So I know that, a big thing we talk about regularly. So I want to kind of continue to beat the drum of the campaign you do for the women over 40 with pets. Let's kind of let's rediscuss that for our audience that haven't heard about it before.
Okay. The beginning of this year, I decided I wanted to do a project that brought together my weird obsession with photographing pets. I photograph a lot of dogs, but cats. I photograph cats. I photographed pigs and goats, and if anybody has a mini cow that they want photographed, I would be forever in your debt.
Is that just like a young cow, or is there actually like a breed
really
that is
mini cows? They're like, have you ever seen the Highland cows? The ones with the they're fuzzy and they got bangs. They're from the Highlands of Scotland.
Yeah. They have mini versions of them.
Mini Highland cows. Oh my gosh,
goodness.
they're the cutest little things you've ever seen.
That sounds like you're describing a unicorn in a way. It's like another type of unicorn.
It kind of is, and I really want to get a chance to photograph one because they're so stinking adorable.
That sounds adorable. Yeah. If you do, I want to be there.
Okay.
I'll be your light man or hold a boom.
All right,
or whatever.
you'll be my assistant for sure.
Absolutely.
So I decided I wanted to combine that with a little bit maybe this branding work that I do with businesses, and I wanted to bring in women over the age of 40. As a woman over the age of 40, a
couple days.
Just a couple.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah.
One or two. I wanted to really highlight the beauty of women over 40 and the wisdom of women over 40. There's just kind of this magical thing that seems to happen as you get a little bit older. You turn 40, when you were in your 20s, you were like, 20 is the best. I never want to do anything else. And then you get into your 30s and you're like, a little bit better. And then you get into your 40s and you're like, wow, 20s and 30s was trash.
Yeah, I didn't know anything.
Here's my
Right.
now, I feel like I'm coming into my own. Like I finally have reached a point where I kind of don't care. And
just because you're comfortable in your own skin.
right.
Yeah.
Right. I'm comfortable in who I am and what I am, and like I'm gonna wear what I want and I'm gonna look how I want, and if that bothers somebody else, well then
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly. Those exact words.
how do you spell that?
Yeah, many P's for sure.
And so like I wanted to be able to capture this, and pets for a lot of us are really, really important in our lives, and they take up a special space. And so I wanted to capture these women and their pets and the bond between both the women and the pets, and create this fun magazine at the end where I highlight each woman that I photograph, and tell a little bit about their story and show their photos, and then everybody's going to get a magazine. And right now I'm actually talking to an artist in Sedona
Nice.
who became a client of mine, who is really excited about this project and is kind of pushing me to turn this into a gallery opening. And she wants to run the opening at her nonprofit group up in Sedona. So that's kind of on the horizon too. It's a lot of fun.
And just a pivot from kind of like the pet theme, you're going to be doing a mini fundraiser in July. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes. So in July, I'm going to be doing a pet portraits mini session fundraiser for a group called SACASA.
Okay.
That's Southern Arizona Center Against Sexual Assault.
Okay.
And they do really great work in our community. And so we'll be doing this fundraiser where the session fee basically is donated directly to the nonprofit. And then I do the session for free, and then clients have the opportunity to purchase photos of their pets after
Nice.
the session.
That's awesome.
So it's a great opportunity to donate some money to a really good organization. And the way that I do it, like I said, the money gets donated directly to the organization. I never touch it. That way, there's never a question of how do I know that money is getting donated to this
Yeah.
group? Well, you're giving it right to them. You bring me the receipt. We set up your session together. So
And if people want to get involved with that, or just involved in getting your services as general, how do they get a hold of you?
they're going to be able to find that information on my website, www.ceatonphotography.com, or they can just give me a call at 520-440-2167.
You practice that, I can tell. You practice. You just too smooth.
Yes,
Too smooth.
yeah, because I haven't had the same phone number since I was 18.
This is the Common Good Radio Show, brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. I'm Pastor John McClain. Thank you, Candace,
you.
as always. I'm here with Ron Arenas with Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing. If you haven't been to veteranrescuemission.org to find out more about the show and the services we do, please do. Welcome to the Common Good Radio Show, brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. I am Pastor John McClain, here with Ron Arenas with Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing. And definitely want to give special thanks to all of our sponsors, to include Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing, Inspired Life Mortgage, Inspired Life Chiropractor and Wellness, Portable Practical Education Preparation, also known as PEP Inc., Solar Source, Gap Ministries, the Better Business Bureau of Southern Arizona, which will be our next guest, Seaton Photography, which was our last guest, the Marketing Corner, Action Print and Copy, Veteran Rescue Mission, and, of course, Home Community Services. All that and more after this break. Nope. Oh, actually, it's not after this break. So, as I mentioned, we have easily probably two of my 10 favorite ladies in the city of Tucson, which I spoke with my wife. She said that she's okay with that because she saw them last on the show. And they're just amazing ladies. They're powerhouses. They're two of some of the most authentic people that I've met, in my days, which makes sense that they're in studio with one of the most authentic men that I know in Ron Arenas. So,
Well, thank you.
yeah, absolutely. So thank you to Denise Alvarez and Irene Coppola with Better Business Bureau of Southern Arizona for joining us.
Thank you. Our pleasure. Woohoo! We made the top 10.
Top 10. Yeah, you worked hard, and you earned it for sure. Absolutely. So I guess kind of just real quick, give our listeners a quick overview of, what is the Better Business Bureau of Southern Arizona in case they've never heard of it, which, I mean, surprisingly enough, less people know about it as should. So just kind of a quick synopsis.
Yes, absolutely. So the Better Business Bureau serving Southern Arizona, we are the leaders in really creating that marketplace trust between businesses and consumers. So that's really our focus. We are a nonprofit organization, a 501c6, and we serve 5 counties in Southern Arizona,
Nice.
everywhere from Pima, Santa Cruz, Cochise, Graham, and Greenlee counties.
Nice.
We have over 3,400 accredited businesses.
Okay.
And so we offer our services free to consumers, and there are a lot of services that our consumers are not aware that we offer.
Yeah.
But it's free to consumers, and we're excited to be able to be a part of the community and make an impact.
Yeah, and you guys, like you mentioned, you provide a plethora of services that people don't even realize. And like to go into that, we know you vet businesses, that become accredited. But tell us more about like the charity review program.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so like you said, we vet businesses to become accredited, but we also do that with charities and nonprofit organizations that are soliciting for donations. And we do this because, well, first of all, there's a lot of nonprofits in Southern Arizona, but also we wanted to make sure that when you're donating to someone, to an organization, you know where your money's going, what they're doing with that. Obviously, a nonprofit, so most of the money that they get goes back to providing that mission and those services, but also how much goes back into the mission. And so you want to know that, and so give.org is the website with BBB where you can find more information, but that's why we started vetting charities.
Nice.
So what can a nonprofit or a charity expect when going through this process?
Well, there's 20 standards, just so that you can get an idea. And they focus on 4 areas: the financial management, fundraising and information materials, governance and oversight, and measuring effectiveness. So just to give you a few examples, for example, board size, board meetings, if there's any board compensations, we look at all of that. The effectiveness of the materials that they're sending out, making sure that they're being transparent. So it's a little bit of a lengthy process, but it is free for the organization to go through with it.
Okay.
If they wanted to do a seal agreement, then there's a bit of a fee for that. But for the most part, it's just a free process.
Nice. And so, I know you just had the Torch Award. This is a big deal. And I'm glad I bet you guys are like, whoo, we're done with the Torch Awards. Whew.
Well, the Torch Award,
it's
they're
ongoing.
still going. Yes.
It's still going.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it'll be May 19th
Okay.
at Casino del Sol.
Okay.
But we announced our finalist for the nonprofit categories.
Okay. And then the 2 nonprofit organizations, tell us about that.
Absolutely.
So it's ongoing. So you're still like in the middle of it. You're still like, you haven't breathed even yet.
We're trying to get there.
Yes, we're almost there. We're
Yeah.
almost there. But so we have 2 categories for nonprofits. One that is below 1.5 billion in revenue, and so
Okay.
we have 3 organizations: Southern Arizona Book Heroes,
Okay.
Ben Spells, and Reach for the Stars.
Man. Okay.
And then
That's
we have
amazing.
above 1.5 million in revenue, and we have Habitat for Humanity, Literacy Connects, and Girl Scouts of Southern Arizona.
That's awesome, man. Those are some powerhouse groups right there.
Doing some good work out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And reaching for the stars, that's an amazing group that just they're coming to ascension just in a beautiful way. And that's definitely those who don't know about this organization, ran by 2 Air Force vets, to kind of connect people in a way that they always want to be connected through astrology. So, and looking at the stars and a kind of really cool events. I got to do an invocation at one of their events once. So, check them out. Check out all the organizations.
Yeah, we rode for them in the Tour de Tucson last year and raised money for them. Yeah,
powerhouses. Yeah.
Yes, actually, and the judges, they have a difficult job.
Absolutely.
Selecting the winners. They have to go through all of their applications, and it's like, my gosh, can we pick all 3?
I know.
You know, for each category?
Yeah, and I'm trying not to sway anybody, but yeah, I know. But so how can a nonprofit or a charity start the process of becoming accredited?
You would want to visit our website, which is bbb.org, and fill out the questionnaire. Again, you have to be soliciting for donations.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, it's a lengthy process, but it's worth it because it'll just show all of the work that you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what, makes consumers trust you when they want to
Right.
donate.
It verifies it.
Right,
Yeah.
correct, yes. So
For
we do
sure.
your homework for you,
Mm.
right? And then we put it on our website so that then you can make an informed decision when donating to any of the organizations.
That's cool. It's such a blessing. I mean, it's cool. Every time I have you guys on the show, you just teach me about another service in depth that I didn't even realize you guys did. Like you talk about regularly. When people think of BBB, they just think about the bad stuff and
Right,
people
yes.
just complaining. But you guys are so much more than that. It's amazing.
Yes, we want to change that narrative. We want to be more positive. Again, the torture words are to celebrate those ethical businesses.
Mhm.
So we really, we want people to see all of these incredible organizations and businesses that are in Southern Arizona.
Nice. And I guess real quick, how can people get a hold of you if they want to plug in?
Yeah, so bbb.org, or you can give us a call at 520-888-5353. Or you can also email us at info@tucson.bbb.org.
Thank you so much, Denise, Irene, as always. Awesome.
Thank you.
This is a Common Good Radio Show brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. Pastor John McClain here with Ron Arenas of Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing. We'll be right back. I just want to dance, Ron. I just want to dance. Do you blame me?
No, not at all.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the Common Good Radio Show brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. I am Pastor John McClain of that very Veteran Rescue Mission here with Ron Arenas, the coolest man in Tucson.
We're
His new-
keeping you cool in Tucson.
Nice. Yeah, we got a new thing now.
Yeah,
Right?
there
I got
you
a
go.
tagline. So he's with Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing. So definitely check them out. What's the website for Picture Rocks Cooling and Plumbing?
PictureRocksCooling.com.
PictureRocksCooling.com. Definitely go and check them out. I definitely had them do a lot of work at my house. Fixtures, plumbing, look at stuff for me, inspections, a plethora. I have to give you guys a call for duct cleaning.
Yeah, that's right. We
Yeah.
talked about that.
And you saw I got my filters.
Yeah, I did. You're changing your filter
I'm
on a regular
changing
basis.
my filters monthly now because every time I have him on the show, he tells me you're supposed to change your filters once a month. And he doesn't say it that way. He actually talks like a regular person, but that's what I hear in my head. And
Well, good. As long as you hear it in your head and you're doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have a newborn baby coming, so to have the freshest, best air quality,
Clean, healthy
possible.
air for you and your family to
It's
breathe.
simple.
Yep.
It's simple. Just change this little like I don't know, triangular or rectangular thing. It's
Yeah.
not that big a deal. It costs like I think $15 for the pack of 4 of them, something like
Yeah,
that. It wasn't
yeah.
anything too serious. So thank you for that.
You are welcome.
And we have a special guest today. We haven't we've never had her on before. We're both Ron and I are super excited to hear more about what she do because we like to eatin'. We like the eatin'.
We're foodies.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
definitely are foodies, and I'm one of the many shows I'm certainly trying to cook up in the world is a show that that talks about the amazing food that's in Tucson and what's out there. So to talk with someone who that's their biz, that's what they do, and they get to kind of give tours and kind of talk about that and the culture and the history and all the different parts of it is super cool. So thank you. We'll welcome Elisa with Taste of Tucson Tours.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah.
And as I said before, I feel like all I do is talk about the city of gastronomy.
Mm-hmm.
And in 2016, UNESCO gave Tucson that wonderful award, and people kind of scratched their head and said, why? I mean, New York, really? Chicago? Tucson, Arizona?
Right.
So the reason was we have been farming here for over 4,000 years successfully, and that was one of the reasons why UNESCO noticed that Tucson was definitely something different from the other parts of the world.
Interesting. So for those that have never heard of the Taste of Tucson Tours, give them a little background. What is the Taste of Tucson?
Basically, you sign up for a tour, and we meet you down at the Mercado,
Okay.
and we ride the streetcar downtown. And along the way, we point out all the culture that we can, talk about the history of Tucson and Arizona. We get off at Broadway and Church, talk a little bit more, as we prepare you for your first food stop. The
Mm.
restaurants change on a regular basis, but we do take you to 4 restaurants on the tour. We point out, as I said, a lot of history, a lot of sights, and of course, all the beautiful murals downtown.
Nice.
So the way I explain to people when they sign up is what your day is going to look like is you're going to eat, walk, walk, eat, walk, eat, walk, walk,
Mm.
eat, eat.
Mm.
Fantastic.
Sounds good, right?
I'm sold.
You're speaking Ron's language.
And it's a nice amount of food. A lot of
Oh.
people think they're just going to get a tablespoon of something, but it's small plates,
Hmm.
so you do leave feeling satisfied.
Interesting.
And most people don't want to eat after they leave the tour, which means I did my job well.
Mm.
Yeah, exactly. So how long does the tour usually take?
It depends on the people.
Okay.
So if it's a smaller crowd, obviously it's going to be a shorter tour, but it's about 3.5 to 4 hours.
Okay.
And it's non-alcoholic. However, there are 1 or 2 stops where you can order a drink on your own. So that's an option. But we make
Mm.
sure we keep everybody hydrated because this is the desert and a lot of people come here not knowing that you need to be
Mhm.
hydrated.
Yeah.
80
Right.
degrees out.
Yeah, particularly people from humid areas. Like I know it's
Yes.
something my wife had to deal with coming from Atlanta. Is she had to drink like a gallon of water a day in comparison because she just felt like she was just dried up all day. So,
Right.
yeah,
Yes.
that's cool that you're on top of that. But the cool thing about what you do is like I was wondering just like where did you get the idea of Taste of Tucson downtown?
I'm navigationally challenged.
Okay.
So
okay.
when I go any place,
There's a joke there somewhere, but I'm just gonna go ahead and leave it right there.
you can poke later, but that's okay. They used to call me the turnaround queen. You know, I was always making
Mm,
wrong-
U-turns.
Yes.
mm,
Anyway, so when I go someplace, I want somebody to show me the lay of the land. I want to
Mm.
know where everything is, but I
Mhm.
want to know where the locals eat and where they hang out. So I
mhm,
thought if I like that, maybe other people would like
Mm.
that. So when the downtown started building the streetcar and started revitalization,
mhm,
I started walking downtown and just checking out everything that was opening, what was going on,
Mhm.
and I introduced myself to a lot of the new chefs
mm,
and some of the older chefs, and I told them about my idea.
mhm,
Sometimes I would just go in and order a lot of food,
mm.
and if I thought it was good and I thought the service was good, I would go back and introduce myself and ask them if they were interested in signing on.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Nice.
And there's so many great places to eat down there, downtown.
Gosh, yes. I mean, people ask me what my favorite restaurant is. It depends on the minute that you ask me.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
so many good
It's like
restaurants.
your favorite movie or your favorite
Mhm.
song. It's like, yeah, it's
Yes.
depend. Yeah, what stage I'm at in my life. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, did I just go through a breakup? Did someone just make me mad? What are we talking about at the time?
It's
But,
true.
yeah,
so
for sure.
true.
So, what would you say is like the best part of your tours?
The people.
Okay.
I'm a people person, so every tour is different. I get to meet people from all over the world, and I get to work with some amazing chefs and restaurant owners. So it's not the same thing ever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
So what should people expect when they sign up for the Taste of Tucson Downtown Food Tour?
They should expect to leave full.
Mm.
Very nice.
Hopefully they'll want to go back to some of the restaurants that we went to so that they can experience something on their own. I think also just to have a good time, meet some new people. A lot of
Mhm.
times after the tours, people will say, hey, you want to stay and have a drink or just make new friends.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Do you do tours all year long?
I do.
Okay.
The restaurants are open all year, so I want
Mm.
to support them.
Right.
Interesting. So, I mean, there's definitely a question that comes to mind as you're mentioning this tour, and I'm more than happy to give them some love. What are some of the restaurants on the tour that you go to?
I don't want to forget anybody because then they'll skip for us.
Well, let's.
Perceno is really good.
Okay.
Good Italian. Nuka Urban Kitchen, Charo, El Charo, Cafe a la carte. 520 is really good. I don't know if you know where that is.
No, I don't know where
It's
that
in
one
the
is.
courthouse.
Oh.
Okay.
Bombalay is another place we go.
Mm-hmm.
The Monica,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Nice. So
Right.
just yeah. so-
Screamery.
You're right.
Yeah. And you may have mentioned it, but maybe I missed it. So when you go on a tour from beginning to end, how many different places are you stopping at?
We stop at 4.
Okay.
It always has to include dessert. I mean, how can you
Mm.
do a food tour without dessert?
Yeah.
And
That's right.
the desserts are different.
Mm-hmm.
depending upon their tour. Sorry.
And then what about your background, like in line with this? Like, because I know, like we talked about, like what made you think to do it. I'm sure you must be some type of foodie or some type of something in yourself, like to do it. Because me personally, I'm not a cook, I'm not a chef, any of that, but I know how to eat really good. So that's why I feel comfortable in doing a show where I just go and tell people what tastes good.
And that's important, though, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
we all have a different palate.
Mm-hmm.
So when I do my tastings, I have to take people with me because I don't want it to just be what I like.
Mm-hmm.
My background's in education.
Okay.
I've been a teacher, college instructor,
Nice.
probably my whole life.
Okay.
I was looking for something else to do
Mm-hmm.
and still teach.
Yeah.
And this just sounded like I was going to do my lectures on the corner now instead of in the classroom.
That's what it sounds like.
Right.
I mean, definitely. You're doing your lectures on the light rail and in the restaurants instead of in a classroom, which I much rather be lectured on the light rail than in a restaurant.
With food.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure, with good food.
And so do you give the people that are touring with you some background education or some history on maybe why the food is prepared that way or things like that?
Absolutely. They also have an opportunity to meet some of the chefs. And I thought that
Mm.
was an important part of the tour. I think
Mhm.
when you have a personal connection with people in a restaurant,
Yeah,
it makes you want to go back.
Mhm.
Right.
You know who's behind the kitchen.
especially
You-
here in Tucson, where we
Yeah.
do business with people we like.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes it something that, oh, I know this owner. I can go back there. I feel
Mhm.
comfortable.
Yeah, that's
and
awesome.
usually the chefs, we pre-order everything. So
So they know you're coming.
They
Yeah.
know we're coming. Everything's prepared fresh for them. And I sit down with the chefs and we come up together with something that they're proud to put on a plate. So it's something that highlights not only the city of gastronomy, but something the restaurant is proud of.
Wow.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Oh,
For
thank
sure.
you. Thank you.
Well, for people who want to go on a tour, want to sign up, what does that process look like? How can they get a hold of you?
Pretty easy. You can go to tasteoftucsondowntown.com
Okay.
and book a tour that way, or you can always call me. I'm more than happy to book people, just if they need
Okay.
to have me personally book them.
What's that number?
520-904-2119. I'm going to sign both of you up.
All right. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're in. Yeah, we're already set. Yeah. So, tasteoftucsondowntown.com and tell us the phone number one more time.
520-904-2119.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Elisa, for
It was
joining
my
us.
pleasure.
Yeah, that's tasteoftucsondowntown.com. Definitely check it out. You heard the bit. If you're not sold, then you don't eat food. So so you're good. But this is the Common Good Radio Show, brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. We're so blessed to have her on the show. I'm Pastor John McClain of that very Veteran Rescue Mission, here with one of my best buddies. I appreciate you being part of the
Thank you.
team. Let me be part of
I
your
always
team.
appreciate it.
Ron Arenas with Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing. Go to picturerockscooling.com. And definitely check out veteranrescuemission.org. We always need any help that we can possibly get, particularly donations of RVs, used vehicles for our vets to get to their appointments. And primarily, if you just want to check out all the people we've helped and how you can help, go to veteranrescuemission.org. We'll check you out next week. Wear your best hat next time I see you. God bless.
Thank you.